Sorry, I started on the wrong slide. We're going to talk about article adjectives today. So adjectives, they're just like the ones we learned before, but these are going to be special ones. They're called articles, and there's only 3 of them. But we're going to learn 2 today. We're going to learn about a and an today. So now, what's special about a and an, they refer to any noun. They refer to singular nouns, though, not plural. So these a and an modify singular, non-specific nouns. So a, if we say, please hand me a cup of flour, there's only 1 cup, it's singular, and we could be talking about any kind of flour. It could be whole wheat flour, it could be regular flour, we're not being specific. And then an refers to any noun that begins with a vowel. Please hand me an egg. So e is a vowel, so we're going to use an. And remember, it is singular, we're just talking about 1 egg, but it could be any one of the eggs in the carton. It's non-specific. So we use a and an for singular nouns that we're modifying and for non-specific nouns. So now let's go through examples. But before we do that, let's go over vowels. So if a word starts with a vowel, if the noun starts with a vowel, which is A, E, I, O, U, and sometimes Y, then we put an in front. Now, with sometimes Y, usually at the start of a sentence, Y is going to be a consonant. The only time Y is a vowel is when it creates a diphthong. So when we see toy, T-O-Y, the O and the Y make a sound together, and then it becomes a vowel. So we won't have to worry about Y, but just make sure you're sounding it out. All right, so now let's go over consonants. So remember, with an, we use vowel. When we see a noun that starts with a vowel, we use an. But if we see a noun starting with a consonant, we use the word a. So if we see a word that starts with a B, C, D, F, G, H, J, K, L, M, N, P, Q, R, S, T, V, X, Z. When we see a word that starts with these letters and Y, because usually at the beginning of a sentence, Y is going to represent a consonant, but we have to remember that Y is sometimes a vowel as well. Then we use the letter A. So now we're going to read through some examples just so we can see it work in a sentence. Remember, our article adjectives, we use a and an if the noun it's modifying is singular, which means we're just talking about one, or and, not or, and non-specific. We're not talking about a specific thing. So, just like regular article adjectives modify our nouns. And they're called indefinite, which means they refer to any member of a group. So for example, if I said, my daughter really wants a dog for Christmas, I see a right here. It's modifying the noun dog. Dog is singular. Dog is non-specific because they could be referring to any dog. We don't know which one they're talking about, if they're talking about a certain breed or a certain dog. And it starts with a D, which is a consonant, which means it's going to begin with A. So now if we said somebody call a policeman, so I'm looking, our noun is policeman, and I see that it is a singular, and it's non-specific because we could be talking about any policeman that's working right now, and it starts with a consonant, which is P. So that means we have A at the beginning because it doesn't start with a vowel. So they don't need a specific policeman, they just need any policeman that is available. That's what we mean by non-specific. So when I was at the zoo, I saw an elephant. So now elephant is our noun that we are modifying. And we look, it's singular, we're talking about 1 elephant. And it is also non-specific because there's probably several elephants at this zoo. And we're not talking about a specific one, but we are talking about a single elephant, which means it's singular and it starts with a vowel. Remember, A-E-I-O-U and sometimes Y, but usually at the beginning it's going to be a consonant. So those 5, we know we have to use an. If the noun starts with a vowel, we use an. Alright, so now let's go through a few more examples. Alright, so now let's remember A, we're going to add in front of a noun if it is a singular noun that begins with a consonant that is non-specific. So, it always depends on the beginning of the next word. A boy. So B is a consonant and it's singular, and we're not talking about a specific boy, so we'd say a boy. Same with a car, singular, starts with a consonant. A bike, b, singular, starts with a consonant. A zoo and a dog. Those are all singular nouns that start with our consonants. But we use an plus a singular noun beginning with a vowel. So we went over an elephant, E is our vowel. An egg, E is our vowel. An apple, A is our vowel. And an orphan, O is our vowel. Because if I said a apple, it wouldn't make as much sense. It wouldn't, when we say it, we have to make sure that it makes sense. If I say an boy, adding an in front of boy, that just doesn't sound right. So when you're reading and doing your homework, make sure to read your sentences, and if you don't feel comfortable, read it out loud and see if it sounds right when you're saying it. Let's go over our vowels and our consonants one more time, and this time, if you have notes at home, make sure to take notes, because then you have something to look back to. While you're doing your homework, you can look back at, okay, I see it's modifying this noun. Is that a vowel or a consonant? Let me check my notes. So make sure to write it down. Let's go over it one more time. All right, so here are our vowels. Remember, if the noun that we are modifying starts with a vowel, we use an. A-E-I-O-U, sometimes Y if it creates that diphthong. And then our consonants, we use A. If the noun that's being modified starts with a consonant, we use A, which is B, C, D, F, G, H, J, K, L, M, N, P, Q, R, S, T, V, X, Y sometimes, and Z. All right, so those are our consonants. So now let's do a quick example of our homework. So for our homework, we have to decide complete the sentence with the best article. Blank alarm sounded when they opened the door. So the first thing we can do is read each example if it helps. An alarm sounded when they opened the door. A alarm sounded when they opened the door. And if you can hear which one makes sense, then just click on it. But from what we just learned, I know that the noun being modified is alarm. It's going to be the word right after. So alarm is singular, so we will use an or a. But what is the first letter of alarm? It is A, which is a vowel. So we know when we're using a vowel, we're going to use an. And it's a non-specific alarm because they're not talking about a certain fire alarm or school alarm. It could be any alarm. So we know we're going to use an because it starts with a vowel. All right, and let's do this one together as well. Does the President of the United States take blank vacation? So I'm going to look at the word right after my article adjective is vacation. So that's what we're talking about. Remember, if you feel comfortable, read both words in the blank and see which one makes sense, if you can do that by hearing. But we're going to look at what we learned. Vacation starts with a V. I know that V is a consonant, which means we're going to start with A, because only vowels, words that start with a vowel, use an. And vacation is singular and non-specific, because they're not talking about a certain vacation. And press submit. All right, so that's all we're going to do today. So just make sure when you're looking at the word right after the article adjective, look at the first letter of that word. Is it going to be a consonant or a vowel? If it's a vowel, we use an. If it's a consonant, we use a. All right, have fun.